So overnight we had some spicy news come out. So there's two things I want to talk about here. So Structure Deck R, or Structure Deck, its revision, right, is here. Dragunity Drive. Alright, so this is a very good question. How are they going to extend out the Dragunity lore? So first up, Dragunity are these line of monsters from the Mist Valley, actually. Well, in the original DT lore, they kind of got destroyed in the original reboot, but it's interesting because they're back. So I don't know how this is supposed to fit into the lore of things. Maybe there's a descendant somewhere along the way. I don't know, or it's just a complete new rebrand for Dragunity. But they're this archetype that involves, Phalanx. You guys remember him, right? He's the one that equips on special summons, and he's a tuner. Very good card, by the way. And you guys remembered the card that searches for Dragon Ravine? That stupid Link 2 that every Rocket Dragon deck was abusing, basically got Destrudo banned. Well, they're here. On August 29th, 2020, the latest of the Structure Deck R series, which rebuild popular Structure Decks of the past for the current metagame with their original counterparts intact. Oh boy, so after the last couple of failures, we're not gonna the Machina one was pretty alright. The Gearfried one, weirdly enough, ended up being a total flopperino, but it kind of came together at the end. The Shaddols weren't even like a Structure Deck remake, but the Shaddol deck was good enough, and oddly enough, they really pulled it together with the Sacred Beast deck. So it is possible to kind of pull this together. This time, it will be based on Structure Deck Dragunity Drive, which combines Wing Beast and Dragons together. Wyverns, right? The main deck is made up of 40 cards, while it includes multiple monster cards for the extra deck. And it also includes a deck power-up pack that expands the options of the deck. Of the 5 included cards, one of them will be secret. We don't care about that. So, 43 cards, by the way. So, I'm assuming here that one of the cards in the deck will probably be Romulus. It's the Link I think his name's Romulus. I never remember. But we should be getting a means to abuse this deck. They've already got one of the best searchers in the game, which is literally Dragon Ravine. But here's my problem with this. Alright? Once upon a time ago, this deck was the best Make Stardust Dragon deck in the world. Alright? This deck also abused the ever-living crap out of our friends over at, Dragon Rulers. You guys remember them, right? They're the culprits. Anything that you build off of Dragon Ravine, you're going to run into a problem with because it's going to be splashable in Dragon decks. And you're automatically off to a bad start because you've got enough Dragon support in the format that if we're expanding on this, we could be running into possible issues here in the near future. So, or they make the structure deck so bad that the new stuff is completely unplayable. But based on everything that we've got right now, the Rocket Dragon Link deck, pre-Red MD errata, is pretty good. The deck still relies on Dragon Ravine at certain points to dump key cards. You've got, the new Lighting Darkness Dragons right around the corner within the Toon set. You're just telling me that you're giving me 9,000 more ways to abuse Dragon Ravine. It would be really cool here. Now, hear me out here. If they remade Dragon Ravine, I don't think it's going to be the case with the last structure deck. We still abused Fallen Paradise, so we'll probably be revisiting a continuous spell card or something like that. One of the big things that this deck kind of had the issue with, it got a little bit better about it in future support, but it was literally the ability to use the monsters from the deck. One big thing that this deck needs is a very simple means to equip from the deck. Whether or not we just get a spell card that says, every time you summon, equip one from the deck, that might be a little bit too pushing it, but there's definitely a need for that. Also, this deck suffers from a little thing called double summon syndrome, alright? Kind of the same thing that our friends back at the old department of Medulcia used to suffer from. Now, one big thing here. If your normal summon got Valor in this deck, you were in Pound Town. Alright, you could not systematically play the game. Alright, like, it was just Valor, you're on an island. Now, obviously, the deck and, you know, the power scaling here with the so-called extenders has risen that up. But one big thing that Dragunity still needs, if we're playing things like Dux, Legionnaire, you know, the old stuff in mind here, you are going to have to give us means to make things. Now remember, Variana's still going to be your central card. You're still going to be wanting to equip from the deck. And then Leviathan, or Leviathan, however you want to pronounce his name, he was the central figure for a lot of old former loops back in the day for his unique ability. I'm curious to see if they're going to bring back the former boss monster and revise him. There's a lot of cool things that they could do with this. But the issue here is there's a lot of problems that are still going to need to be addressed. And like I said, with the Machina deck, they did a fantastic job at literally, you use the old support minimally. I mean, Machina Fortress was great, but do you outdo Leviathan? Do you make us have to play Leviathan in order to get, you know, ye old maximum value from the deck? Because if you're kind of confining us into a restriction like that, we're still going to find ourselves in a really weird place, because one's still a main deck monster. Possibly, whatever new support we get, whether it be a new Synchro, a new Link monster, or a combination of two. We could definitely get 2 cards for the extra deck here. There's definitely a way to very easily summon Leviathan, bypassing summoning conditions and things like that. Konami in the past has shown us that just because the card says this card can only be special summoned by, cannot be ignored by a little line of text written onto the card. So, please, do not let Dragunity Drive be a flopperino. I'm really looking forward to this for just the potential. I'm not a big fan of Dragon Ravine or the deck as a whole, but this deck has some of the coolest mechanics available conceptually for what the game has. So, there's that. Now, this was very interesting, and I don't think a lot of people are going to really understand the significance of this. Number 39 in the Astral language. Now, you're probably looking at this artwork here and going, what's the big deal Reno here? What do we care here? So in the first episode of Zexal, you might have noticed in the anime that this card has what we like to call some really weird chicken scratch on it, alright? Especially the cool symbol up here. Well, they're releasing this. What you see here is what we're going to be getting, and this is awesome. The version of number 39 Utopia that was written in Astral's language that appeared in episode 1 is going to be included in the OCG Collector Pack 2020. This version of Utopia is legal to use in an official duel, but make sure you have a regular copy on hand to make sure your opponent knows what it does. We've officially, I don't think we're going to get this in the TCG, I'm going to be honest with you. I want this. I think this is awesome. I think that this is a fantastically cool idea. And if we could do something, even though it's an iconic boss monster, things like that, means that we're open to the opportunity to do other cool things like this. So, we've opened up the door to cool, exciting, collectible ideas for cards that were written like this. I honestly thought last year, or earlier in the year when they did the manga cards, that those should have just been legal Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Hot take, I do think so. But this is going to be an excellent piece to add to any collection. And I'm personally looking forward to collecting one of these, because I think this would be awesome. I can't wait for the amount of people trying to cheat with this. What's your Utopia do? Oh, it's untargetable, unnegatable, indestructible? Nani? Guys, that is all I have for this video. Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think about the news. And well, guys, I'm out. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCall40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCall40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcallgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.